Have you ever had someone say, I tried network marketing and it didn't work? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so I tried network marketing and it didn't work. You've probably heard that before. Maybe it's happened to you. First of all, I'm going to do a future training on this for reps to overcome it. So in other words, maybe you've tried it and it hasn't worked, or maybe you've been working it and you've not been able to make it work, okay? And so that's a different conversation than what I'm going to have today. I will do some training on that at a later time. In other words, how to overcome it, all right? So this video is about the prospect's perspective of that they've had an experience and it didn't work, all right? And so then I'm going to cover the company failed, my sponsor didn't help me, my team didn't do anything. So, and I'm going to talk about it from a perspective, whether it inhibits or prevents, all right? And so first, let me jump into just purely the facts on it, and that is, does it work? All right, so I've shown this before, but anytime you look at a business, what you're really looking for is, does it happen for one? All right, so this is a product, this is the rep, and this is the customer, okay? So is there one person who wants to buy that product? That's the very first yes you've got to get through. And then number two, is there one person who wants to sell the product? Number three, is there a fair exchange? All right, so that right there represents what you have to have in an economy, all right? And it doesn't matter if we blow it all the way up to big, if we had oil for cars, but we had nobody wanting to open gas stations, then it wouldn't have worked, okay? So you've got to have all three of those components, all right? So then, are there many people who want to buy it? And are there many people who want to sell it? All right, and so that's basically how you create and evaluate whether or not something does work or not. And then, and so when you look at, is there a market? In other words, is there a business model for people who want to have a $1,000 to $2,000 business? And there's a tremendous market for that. All right, so give you the industry statistics. There are 116 million independent representatives in network marketing. That's a lot of people who are willing to do a business that is in that category of $1,000 to $2,000. It represents 189 billion in retail sales, and so there's no question about it. It works. So when we talk about I tried network marketing and it is what we really got to focus on, because it being the industry is not up for negotiations. It's not up for evaluation at this stage. It is full on industry, right? So it does work, but who does it work for? This is the pipeline, and every business in the world must do the pipeline. Every college needs to do it. Every church has to do it. In other words, profit or nonprofit, if a group wants to expand, they have to do the pipeline in some fashion. Everybody has to do the pipeline to expand. And so it's generate leads, it's contact, it's set an appointment, it's a presentation, and it's a follow-up. All right, so retail store, they pay more for the real estate in a populated area, and so people walk by the store, or they buy it. They rent the space inside of a mall, and so people walk by and see the store. Okay, so one way or another, everybody has to generate leads. Okay, and then you walk into a store and you're going to be contacted by somebody. All right, and they're going to say, what size are you looking for, or something like that, right? And so in that case, you don't have an appointment set, but let's say insurance, you'd be setting an appointment. Many others, law firm, they're going to set an appointment and so forth. They got to do a presentation of some kind. It may be a video, it may be a concert, whatever it is. They've got to do a presentation, and they follow up until the customer or the prospect says yes or no. So everybody has to do the pipeline. So who succeeds in network marketing? People willing to do the pipeline, right? You got to learn the pipeline. You got to do the pipeline. And it's true for every business in the world. Okay, so now let me drill down into this, and don't get scared of it. I'm going to walk you through. It looks like a lot of stuff, but it's really, it's going to be really helpful for people to understand this. So this is perspective, okay? So everybody has bad experiences in their life, right? No question about it. The self-talk, you know, that stuff that goes on in your head over and over and over and over and over again, and, you know, it might have happened 10 years ago, but you're still going over it in your head. Not necessarily every day, but you're just driving along, you listen to the radio, and all of a sudden you think about it again, right? Well, that self-talk of a bad experience persists if the cause of it has been justified away. All right, now, what do I mean by that, right? So let's say that you show up late for work, and you say, you know, I'm sorry I'm late, you know, it's because of the traffic. Okay, so you justified the cause because of the traffic. All right? Well, if it's outside of your control, then you can't really blame it, right? Because you can't get better at that. And so you could say, I'm sorry I'm late. I should have left earlier. See, you can change that. You can't change traffic, all right? So that's what I'm talking about when I say perspective, all right? So let me kind of grease the wheels here. And these things are what's just persist in your head, and this is the healthy way to look at things. And it's actually a lot more logical. So marriage doesn't work. You know, like most of the time you don't hear it that way, but you hear women, you can't live with them, right? Or men, oh my gosh, God forgot to put a brain in their head, right? Or something like that, okay? So, but let's just call it marriage. That way it's, you know, it's not gender specific. All right, well, a relationship didn't work, right? So I had a bad relationship. When I met my soon-to-be wife, when I met her, if I had dragged that baggage in, I wouldn't have been able to have a relationship with her, right? She wouldn't put up with that. Nor would I have put up any of it from her, right? So bringing of the baggage, and they're like, you know, making sure you're not like that person was, that sort of a thing, that's baggage. So you have now, let's say, a new set of criteria that you're looking for, but you don't bring that baggage, all right? So a relationship didn't work. It's not that marriages don't work, okay? I ate a bad meal, I'll never eat again. Nobody says that, right? And so that meal made me sick, or I chose the wrong meal, or I chose the wrong restaurant, right? So it's just a healthier way of assigning the cause at something that you can change. This one here, and I put that in quotes, didn't work. What I did or didn't do didn't work. All right? So when I first start talking to any kind of a prospect and they've had network marketing experience, I say, what happened with that? And what am I looking for? I'm looking for whether or not they're justifying their cause. Are they blaming it on their upline? Are they blaming it on the price of the products? Are they blaming it? Well, you chose that company. You chose that sponsor. You chose that product line. You chose all of that. So why are you now blaming it? So the company failed. All right, that's legitimate, right? Okay, so I need to learn better how to evaluate a network marketing company. You see, each one of these pieces is putting you in a healthy situation so that you're always evolving and getting better. My sponsor didn't help me. I need to find better training. Okay, don't blame it on your upline, right? Training's available out there. My team didn't do anything, right? So this one is very, very common, and I want to drill down into it a little bit. Some people feel as though that they're superstars, right? And that they don't want to waste time trying to drag people. Good, don't. that happens in your evaluation phase as to whether or not you want to sponsor somebody. Okay, so I'm always listening for people who have like a lot of life force. They're a superstar in the making. And then I can apply, right? You already have seen probably the videos that I've done about training interest. If the person does not have an interest in training, they can never get better. They can never become the superstar that they really want to become. And so I'm not going to take the time to sponsor them. I'm not going to waste their time or mine. Okay, so if your team didn't do anything, then I need to get better at selecting or training my team. Okay, so that's a healthier way to do it, instead of saying my team didn't do anything. My team is lazy. My team, one of the most sought after things is how to motivate my team, right? No. You don't motivate a team, okay? People who have the right ability, in other words, the training ability, when they have that ability, they don't need motivation. The comp plan is the motivation. The wanting to help other people with a product is the motivation. You can't like blow air into them, you know what I mean? Or helium. I worked it hard for a year, very little results. Okay, so this one is this one is just a missing perspective. All right, so you got to understand the industry a little bit to understand what you're even after here. So when I purchased my kit, I was 100% of sales of my team. Right? So are you. So when you join, you are at the top of nothing. And you, in your little tiny quadrant, if you want to view it that way, you are 100% of sales. And then you bring one person in the business, and now that person is 50% of sales, and you're 50% of sales. Okay? And so then, after a few people sponsored people, and I sponsored another, I was 1/8 of sales. Okay, so my volume was 1/8 of all of the sales. 8 years later, 7 years later, my volume is 1/35,000th of sales. You see, that's what you're after. The goal is to become less and less important to the production of your income. And that is a lot of people call that residual income. And I think it's a lot more than that. I believe that it's residual income power, because, residual income, you can think about your electricity bill or something like that, but your electricity doesn't go out and get more houses for you. And so in this situation, when you train a sales team, you're training a sales team to sell, and you're training a sales team to get other sales teams. So therefore, you've got to keep that in perspective. And so I worked it hard for a year, very little results. Well, so were mine. But then as you build and build and build and train and train and train and train, and then that begins to occur. In other words, just think about how Delta has 60,000 employees. Do you think they only recruited 60,000 people? Like that was all that they recruited? No. They're going to have the same failure rates, if you want to call it fail. In other words, those people are always moving in and out. There's people who just don't work out. They start yelling at the person flying on the airplane or some kind of a thing, and they're going to get fired, right? And you're going to find you're not a fit and things like that. So it happens in every industry. Okay, so when I say the goal is becoming less and less important to the production of your income, what's production? Production is the doing of and training of the pipeline. Okay, I'm going to go back to that, because this is where everything is solved. Everything gets done here, and every solution is right here. It's nowhere else, guys. Okay, so generating leads, you got to get better at it. better at contacting, and it doesn't matter how you generate leads, it doesn't matter how you contact. If you want to go through social media, fine. If you want to go through text messaging, great. You want to go through WhatsApp, great. In other words, it doesn't matter how you contact a person. And then you set an appointment, and it could just be you're sending them a link to a presentation. Okay, so that's the process. That's how everything gets better. Everything about training is right there in terms of like what do you train them to do and things like that. Okay, so in a summary, network marketing works. So the it part is not network marketing. The it part is the pipeline. Okay, so anybody who says it didn't work and that company is still in business, well, you have to say that the person didn't do the pipeline. Okay, or they did the pipeline but didn't give it enough time to get the right people in. It's no different than any business. Someone who doesn't want to do the pipeline does not want to own their own business. And so I've heard a lot of people try to do this little conversation that says, it's not sales, it's sharing. You don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. No, I never do that. Because business ownership is business ownership, period. And there is no business or anything that doesn't have to do the pipeline. And so you may choose to use videos instead of you perfecting your communication skills. Great, fine. All right, but the bottom line is everybody in business has to do the pipeline. And if this is helpful for you, do me a favor and comment. Like this if you like. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Comment down below. I love to read the comments. Love to see what you're thinking. And do comment about this particular one, about what it is. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.